like working with people who care a lot about the problems in society and want to make a difference. Nonprofits, unlike for-profit organizations, are all about giving back. I really meet interesting people who give away money for nothing in return, work with people who care very passionately for education, for children, for health care, for making the world a better place. The greatest challenge is when things do not go how you expect them to go. Donors change their mind, staff resign to move closer to family, leadership changes. There are all kinds of things that are unanticipated that can't be written into a plan. That's when it really gets challenging. At the same time, it offers opportunities to approach things in a different manner. Some of the best places to go for updates and staying current are the professional associations. CASE, the Council for the Advancement and Support of Education, is one. Giving USA is another that puts trends out there. Indiana School of Philanthropy, there are a lot of them. But honestly, some of my best information comes from my colleagues here at the firm. You know, it's interesting. We've been hearing for many years that technology would take over and face-to-face fundraising would be dead. That has not happened. Technology has certainly enhanced fundraising with crowdsourcing and internet appeals and other things of that nature, but nothing has replaced the personal touch, face-to-face. In order to get those significant mega gifts, there will always need to be face-to-face involvement. And that means there will be individuals who need to be trained. There will be people who will need to understand the importance of the personal touch and philanthropy. I see us at Alexander Haas being able to stay abreast of everything that's coming out in technology and what really makes a difference, but also being mindful of human biology has not changed. We still respond best to one person, to one face, to one idea. There have been two people that I have to say have been very influential in my fundraising career. One, Henry Clay Hoffheimer. He was in Norfolk, Virginia. He chaired my campaign at the hospital, and then he was also honorary chair of the campaign at Old Dominion University, where I worked. Magnificent individual, wonderfully generous, a very astute businessman, and a terrific solicitor. The second was probably my first boss in fundraising, who came to me at one point and said, "Would you like to be director of development?" And I thought, that'd be great. I'd love to be director of something. What's a director of development? In my early 20s. And I soon learned that meant you had to ask for money. Her name was Noelle Stanek, and she went from being a boss to a really close friend, and now we talk several times a week, even though we haven't lived in the city for many years. But again, incredibly knowledgeable, passionate, and wonderful in being able to reinforce and understand the basics of fundraising. When I first started in my career, I was working in Catholic healthcare, and I had wonderful mentors and bosses. They also had 43 sister hospitals that had active foundations, and so they were so good about training me. And initially, it may have been intimidating to go into the field and have to ask for money, but they broke it down into the basic components and taught me and trained me on what I needed to know to be successful. One of the best parts of my job is the problem-solving aspect of it. It takes a lot of discipline to identify a problem and then break it down into components, and then to be creative, to come up with solutions that may be, or that have to be different from what they've tried before, because what they've tried before hasn't worked. So part of it is having that base of knowledge, of having worked in the field for 30 years, of having worked with many, many other organizations who've had similar problems in the past, and being able to draw on that, but knowing that culture at every institution is different. And so that a problem that might have worked for one client might not work for another. So there's a certain creative aspect of our work that's a lot of fun. When I have spare time, I like to play the violin. I studied when I was younger, and I'm not so critical now of my planes. I actually enjoy it more in many ways, but I think that uses another part of your brain and sort of it allows you to be a little more creative, which we need from time to time. One of the projects I enjoyed working on recently was with the Jacksonville Humane Society. Along the way I learned it wasn't just about the animals. The neat thing about the Humane Societies, it's really about the people and how the animals play a role in these people's lives. That particular Humane Society does a lot of work with wounded warriors and others who need animals for helping people to cope with various problems. It was really gratifying to see the work that was done there, the challenges that they had raising money. They'd had a fire many years ago which had destroyed the kennels, and this campaign was to rebuild the kennels. What was most exciting about it was seeing the impact that that organization has on people. Haas is a fundraising consulting firm headquartered in Atlanta, Georgia. One of the unique features of our firm is that all of our consultants have 25 or 30 years of experience, and all of us have headed up a major development shop. This means that when there's a challenge, most likely several of us have seen that before and know how to handle it. You need to make sure that counsel understands your mission and is a good fit for your organization. You want to find consultants with credibility, with experience. You want to find ones who've worked in the field before and understand exactly what you're going through. And finally, you want to make sure it's someone you don't mind having dinner with, because you end up spending an awful lot of time with.